Imagine being so strong. This is a planet that's in its gods and monsters era, you could say. Metahumans has been a thing for a while, 3 centuries. Superpowered beings been around on Earth. But despite him being relatively young in comparison to this date, he's only been here for 3 decades. He's considered the most powerful metahuman of all time when metahumans is like a normal thing. That says a lot. When you realize there's other Kryptonian type beings, humans infused with nanotech, beings that can turn into literally any element ever in the universe, beings that have the most powerful ring in the universe like Green Lanterns, Hawk Girls, beings that probably have nth metal, super smart beings like Mr. Terrific, blah, blah, freaking blah. In the 3 years he's been Superman, he lost to a being for the first time at his full power, this being known as Hammer of Barovia, which makes Superman not seem that powerful until you realize this Hammer of Barovia being is not some random being. It's actually Ultraman himself, a being that works for Lex Luthor, who happens to be a straight up clone of Superman. So it's like he lost to himself. His only real loss was losing to himself. He was an incomplete clone. He was stupid. That was his major weakness, but his strength was not lacking though. That's why Lex would be coaching him from far away with his drones to help make up for the intellect he does lack. Now, when you put that in mind, whatever Ultraman can do, you could say this Superman can do at his full power. It's literally a clone of him in muscle. So right off gate, when it comes to muscle, we know Superman can lift a couple tons because we know Ultraman can easily lift a couple tons with his muscle. Not really nothing contradicting, and we see how he tosses around furniture. Full water towers. He can swing or toss around with his muscle. He wouldn't officially be a Superman if he doesn't have a feat of him lifting up this giant Daily Planet globe that's in every Superman movie. In this universe, it happened in novelization that's a part of this universe. Welcome to Metropolis, an official novel inspired by the film, the prequel junior novel. Some debate if it's canon or not canon, but hey, if the cover looks like this, I think it's canon. Honestly, would have been nice to see this in live action. In this, he actually fought this being known as Metello. You can see there at the Daily Planet, it's talked about how Metello threw this enormous sphere at Superman. Although it knocked Superman back, he caught the spear and set it down. So yeah, he can lift way over his weight. It's not an exaggeration to say he can lift thousands of tons because we've consistently seen him be able to support the weight of buildings without struggling really. This is consistent when you see his muscle clash with building-sized creatures like this monster that's literally towering over certain buildings. And this monster's putting pressure on him trying to step and Superman supporting this weight. Here's another occasion of this same creature he has to push off this building-sized being. This is proof he can hold the full weight of this being because we literally see him hold it up to try to protect everybody, as you can see how large it is. After it was killed by Mr. Terrific, of course. He's such a small character compared to these large objects. Sometimes stuff might break around him, but it's not because he lacks the strength. Yeah, he can literally lift buildings, meaning his muscles can lift over 100,000 tons, y'all. Buildings can get pretty heavy. Especially you see these buildings he's supporting are not no tiny buildings. These are like skyscraper type buildings. All this stuff goes for his striking power too. There's weight behind his hits, obviously, when you're this strong, duh. That part is clear, isn't it? Look how he does the ground when he's digging or burrowing under the ground. I mean, I literally just showed you him like support building size things or buildings themselves. So is it really a shock he can strike, smash things like tanks, planes? I mean, just look at the weight of his hits when it comes to these building-sized beings. He can damage them. You can almost say part of this because of his speed and how he can stagger these beings this large. It's also worth noting that he's been holding back against this creature doing this, showing his raw power. So all this strength he can lift with his muscles, this kind of pressure should apply for his strikes. Him having the punching power to punch down buildings makes a lot of sense. All this punching power and stuff I've already talked about, all this goes for his durability as well. He can take what he can dish. Because there's legit things in this universe, like in Lex's Pocket universe, there was this anti-proton river that Mr. Terrific, a smart guy, said that was here. The way this place was built, it would tear them apart in seconds, aka humans cannot survive in this for more than any seconds really. So this kind of lets you know how durable Superman is compared to normal humans. Even when he's weakened, he's still above humans by a large margin. Because we literally see Superman in this crap while saving this baby. He's been in it for more than a couple seconds. Like, he's been in this for a hot minute. It's confirmed multiple times that he's weakened during this sequence. Lex Luthor's goons saying he's still weak because of the literal kryptonite poisoning. All he needed was a day or two to heal up. I need you guys to read up on anti-protons without making this video too complicated or too scientific. Just look it up. Superman's skin being able to survive that long while weakened, if a bottle of water's amount, like if you was to put a whole bunch of anti-protons in this little bottle, like this little bit, a normal sized bottle of water, a little bit of anti-protons is equal to nukes, y'all. I'm not exaggerating. It just gets crazy. Like Superman has resistance to stuff like this that should have just incinerated him instantly. That's why Mr. Terrific and him couldn't even go in there. Yeah, so I don't think you can nuke him and call it a day. Continuity gets a little tricky because the old DC extended universe and the new DCU kind of have mixing elements to it. Like Peacemaker is from the past DC cinematic universe that's failed. It's gone now. A lot of that stuff transferred over to this new universe. Some things, not all, there are some things, James Gunn even said it himself, there's some things from the previous DC extended universe that comes over to this. So it's almost like they're canon to both universes. Like James Gunn straight up said, if you hear people reference things from Suicide Squad and other projects from the DC Extended Universe, then it automatically becomes canon. It automatically becomes canon if you hear them reference certain events or story beats. Blue Beetle of the previous DC Cinematic Universe is what I'm talking about. You're probably wondering, what does this have to do with Superman? Well, it is true that in the Blue Beetle movie, they referenced Superman exists already, but during the time this movie released, everybody thought they was talking about Henry Cavill. I guess you could say this is like a retcon to being David Corenswet Superman.
James and Peter, who have graciously folded us into their new universe, although it wasn't one that they came up with, is an honor.
I mean, the first DCU character for sure is Blue Beetle. And the first full DCU movie is Superman.
Not to mention, he's getting an animated series that's going to continue from the movie. That further implies that those events in that movie did happen in the DCU. Yeah, I know it gets confusing, but there's a lot of evidence suggesting that those events in that 2023 movie did happen. This is a universe that has a lot of quote-unquote metahumans, super beings, whatever. And as of the events of the newest movie, Superman is supposed to be the most powerful metahuman of all. That should include Blue Beetle. If we assume, which is a fair assumption, if we assume he really is mightier than Blue Beetle of this universe, if Blue Beetle from the one in 2023 is in this same universe, that would automatically make Superman a planet buster. If they're saying he can hit harder, blast harder, hit with more raw force than Blue Beetle. You guys know Blue Beetle. It's a scarab being that fuses with a host. It chooses someone. It's a superpowered weapon that fuses with a human. And the scarab has enough raw destructive power. Not even being fused with nothing. It has enough raw power to literally bust a planet. And they're implying this Superman can hit harder than a world-destroying being? We literally see him do it in the opening scenes of the movie, but this is also reiterated in the movie itself about it being a world-destroying weapon. Yes, it sounds like a pun when people say world-destroying, but in this case it's literal because we literally see the scarab world destroy. So when they say he can world destroy, it's a world-destroying weapon, it really is. It's not an exaggeration. If we assume Superman can punch harder than this guy or this guy fused with the scarab in general, well, only one movie and it's kind of already confirmed he's a planet shatterer. I mean, you can even argue Green Lanterns in his universe are more than likely going to be planet shatterers too, because, I mean, it looks like we randomly see it hit some random Green Lantern and made it go to another course. This kind of power seems casual. And he's getting a new show too? Oh man. It's the first movie and we're already getting introduced to black holes, pocket universes, replicating the Big Bangs. Can somebody explain to me how the heck did Lex Luthor create a pocket universe by replicating the Big Game with a Luthor Core Mega Collider, tearing a tiny hole between the two universal fabrics? Like, tell me how he did that? This dude is smart. And when it comes to this universe's black holes, writers purposely have smart people like Mr. Terrific tell us the tea on how this universe version of black holes work and how destructive they can be, implying that yes, these black holes being introduced are powerful enough to destroy the Earth, tearing a hole in the very fabric of reality. This pocket universe that Lex Luthor made that he's not supposed to make because it's very dangerous, it's filled with black hole vortexes. Superman, who was here, no sunlight, was very weak in it, trying to save a baby. There was a literal black hole. He himself isn't sure he'll not be able to get out. Partly because the black holes are really strong because they are collapsed stars in real life. And he's weakened. And the funny part is, to my knowledge, y'all, I don't think Crypto's weakened, y'all. Is Crypto weakened here? Did Crypto get exposed to kryptonite? Because Superman is heavily weakened and Crypto is having a hard time flying out of this pool of this black hole, y'all. Superman was struggling too, but he uses his super breath to use as thrusters to help push everybody out of this. So wait a minute, does this imply that a weakened Superman is still stronger than Crypto? Because Superman is kryptonite poison, but what's Crypto's excuse? So at full power, Superman might have been able to do this a lot easier. Like seriously, these angles get weird, so it's really hard to tell how close they was. And there is implications that Superman himself at this moment believed if they was to get sucked in this black hole, they would never get out. He never said they would actually die though, but they said they would never get out. So implying this could be their limit. If we're to take that part seriously, does that prove he has black hole level durability to where he wouldn't necessarily die from this? Maybe? Possibly? Maybe? What do you think? Like right here, this could mean a lot of different things. This could mean, oh man, their limits really are black hole stuff. Ultraman got murked from this black hole apparently. Then I guess that would confirm their limitations. But if we find out in the future that Ultraman didn't die from that would pretty much upgrade every character, every Kryptonian in this universe. That would pretty much mean in order to even damage these beings, you got to be within them black hole ranges of power. If he doesn't die from this, of course. But yeah, if he died, then yeah, I guess that's their limitations apparently. This is solely based on the fact we're assuming he could survive these black holes, him or his clone Ultraman. Either or. Because if we find out in the future that Ultraman survived, then we're going to know, yeah, that he can survive too. It's kind of believable when you think of Superman as a character. Superman's always doing crazy stuff in comics and stuff. Yeah, I know it's a different universe than comics, but still. When we go back to his earlier days novelization Superman before the event of the movie, we got more occasions of his speed or implied speed. They didn't give a specific time frame, but they said within seconds he flew from Metropolis to Smallville, and they called it an instant. So when they say an instant, I'm sure they're not talking about like 60 seconds or something. Let's assume they're talking about an instant being what? 30 seconds. Let's assume that. That speed, bare minimally, to fly this fast will be 12 times faster than the speed of sound. If we assume that instant was like 2 seconds or something, based on the distance between Metropolis and Smallville, him traveling there in 2 seconds, via calculations, this number would change from 12 times faster than the speed of sound to 188 times faster than the speed of sound. We technically seen him react to his own heat vision from Ultraman, somebody that's just like him. He can literally combat ridiculously fast. There's a lot of assumptions. There's a lot of theories up in the air on their power. I mean, when you look at Supergirl and her speed, she literally flies to different suns so she can party on other planets with red suns. This is still an assumption, but if we go by if she flew there with her raw speed or did she take a spaceship? Because apparently in this universe, Superman can't hold his breath forever. He can hold his breath for over an hour, which is still impressive, but that implies not forever. So if we assume Supergirl flew to a star with a red sun on one breath without having to breathe, let's just assume 1 hour. 1 hour. Just to fly from Earth to the nearest red sun, which is 25 trillion miles away, to do that in an hour, if we assume she didn't use a spaceship, that's at least 37,000 times faster than the speed of light. If we assume she didn't take no spaceship where she can breathe and chill, or she just flew there with just her raw speed, that would change everything. What do you think? Do you think she took a spaceship? I think she might have possibly took a spaceship. Who really knows? This would further prove that the Kryptonians in this universe can fly faster than the speeds of light. So I look at it. If she can fly this fast, David, by default, if we were to assume this is true, he should be able to fly 37,000 times faster than light. But yeah, who knows if that's true or not. She might have took a spaceship. But then again, Green Lanterns do exist in this universe, y'all. So being able to go faster than the speed of light seems reasonable considering Green Lanterns, that's one of their big things is flying through space, going from planet to planet. They have to be insanely faster than the speed of light. We see it a lot in comics. We just haven't seen it happen in the movies yet in this universe. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right in the future when we see the Green Lantern content. They can fly faster than the speed of light. If we assume Superman is anywhere in these guys' speed, range, or faster, this universe does dub him as the most powerful metahuman of all time. So if we're being honest, the more movies that come out in this universe, it's just going to make Superman look more impressive. Because if that statement really holds up and it doesn't age like milk about him being the mightiest metahuman of all time, when other metahuman characters appear and they do absurd stuff, you can also base their feats to him. It's the same with the Supergirl movie that comes out. If Supergirl comes out, does crazy stuff, that can kind of make him look more impressive too. They literally have the same powers. They're cousins. They're both Kryptonians. Like, I have a feeling planet-shattering power shouldn't be that far of a stretch for you to believe when you consider this universe is just starting. They're already introducing black holes, and they're already technically battling imps. And apparently they can handle it. Do you know what this reference from the comics? Dimensional imps? Are we going to see, like, higher dimensional beings introduced sooner than later? If the Justice Gang is already battling them and they don't need Superman's help, that's not worth Superman's time because they can handle it. The stuff that happens in Peacemaker Season 1 is pretty much canon. The higher dimensional imp that stands over Batman, Batmite. So interdimensional imps are a thing. Peacemaker confirms it.
Almost all of Peacemaker is canon, with the exception of Justice League, which we will kind of deal with in the next season of Peacemaker. In Creature Commandos, you'll hear them talk about things that happened in Suicide Squad or Peacemaker. Well, then those things automatically become canon.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to get into speculations on fifth dimensional imps. Higher dimensional, cosmic, multi-dimensional type beings. They are automatically strong enough to destroy universes and stuff. And Superman and the Justice Gang are just treating it lightly. You know, don't judge me, but I'm telling you, if we end up finding out this Ultraman, if we find out he really survived that black hole, that would just make David Superman look more impressive because he can actually damage him with his strikes. If he can damage beings that can survive black holes, that would just imply his strikes are scarier than planet-shattering type of attacks. But that could be just me. Since this is not an origin movie, they gave us a glimpse of what his childhood looks like, his memories at least, at the very end of the movie. When it comes to his origin, the way this universe is built, it's centered around a lot of different super beings already existing. It's just that when Superman came 3 decades ago, he was an extraterrestrial baby from space and was adopted by the Kansas farmers. You already know this story. This has like been done to death. Basically has 2 sets of parents. His original parents died, Kryptonian parents, his alien parents, but his human parents raised him. You know, this movie answers the questions about his goofy identity and how nobody can tell who he is. It's because of these hypno glasses that literally change his face to people. So that explains why people can't tell Clark Kent and Superman are the same person. It's literal tech. So it makes people in this universe not feel so stupid. Like, I really like their tech. His Fortress of Solitude has gear or tools that allow them to focus the sun's rays at him to heal him up faster than normal. He can survive without atmosphere for an extended period of time being powered up, literally being on the moon, because it's confirmed by Lex Luthor's minions that he can hold his breath for over an hour. If you made it this far in the video, you know he has super breath, heat vision, laser vision, X-ray vision. His body can withstand fire. His metabolism is so crazy. He can't get drunk, obviously can defy gravity, his standard weakness, being kryptonite. Everybody knows about this. But in this universe, for some reason, there's none left on the planet, which I kind of like, so people can't just spam this in every movie. That's why he had to find a workaround, known as this being known as Metamorpho, who can literally create kryptonite. That's kind of cheating. I guess this is technically the only other character right now in this universe that could technically beat him in the fight via hacks. Thanks for the donations. Like, share, subscribe. Yo, this future looking crazy. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.